Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Welcome to the video, my friends. And our boy, Michael Condrey, the Sledgehammer Studios, have made the biggest mistake in Call of Duty history, except for maybe the one-man army noob tubes, the biggest mistake in Call of Duty World War II. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, we are talking about the fact, I made a video last night, I ranted about it, that all these Call of Duty COD cocksuckers out here are talking about how, oh, these big changes are coming, sprint out speed, etc., all these huge buffs and weapon balancings, and all these different dynamics being changed in the game. Yet I said, don't believe it. They're not reading the lines properly. Their reading comprehension is poor. They're COD cocksuckers. They're just trying to hype the game up. Those changes aren't coming. I made that video last night saying that those are just nonsense clickbait bullshit. And it's true, because today on Reddit, Michael Condrey admitted and said that they aren't changing the sprint out speeds, and that is what we're talking about, the biggest mistake in Call of Duty history. And now people are not really, maybe not catching on to that. Some of you who are Call of Duty vets will understand immediately how this is the death and the end of Call of War II, if it wasn't dead already. And what sprint out speed is, for those who don't know what it is, when you're playing Call of Duty and you're running, and then when you stop running to shoot somebody and aim down sight, it's how fast you go from running to being able to actually fire your gun and hit somebody. And Call of Duty is a arena shooter. It is a fast-paced run and gun shooter. It is not a competitive CSGO, but at its core, it's a quick engine, it's a run and gun shooter. And the excuses he gives and the reasoning he gives for why they're not changing the ADS speed and why they want to make the game slower. Here's the Reddit post. Let's read over it really quickly. In the past Call of Duty games, the dexterity perk made the ADS timeout sprint faster, in some cases 50% faster than without dexterity. This made it a crutch perk and by far the most used perk in those games. We initially had a basic training that offered this functionality, but found that once again being chosen much more than the other options presented. When there's a crutch perk like this, it results in a non-choice for players since they feel the need to take this perk or basic training just to be competitive. We aren't asking for a perk, we aren't asking for a basic training, we aren't asking for dexterity, we're just asking that quick draw actually work when you come out of sprint. That maybe for the SMGs or guns in general across the board, just guns across the board, not separate guns, not separate classes, not a special crutch perk, just increase the ADS sprint out time. Because the game at this point, like you say here in a few seconds, we'll get to it, is about slowing down. This game is predicated upon fast-paced arena shooter run and gun styles. A game that is slowing down the run and gun kills it. It makes it not fun. That's why you have people camping in corners. That's why you got people head glitching. That's why you got people afraid to move, because if you try to move and you come up against a guy who isn't moving, you're 99% of the time going to lose that gunfight, making it stupid to even run. Additionally, the main design pillar we had in this game was boots on the ground in a World War II era. That meant more than just not having boost jumping and an arsenal of speed buffs. It also meant to return to an overall more strategic and slower pace of conflict. And also, while I'm reading this, I'm not sure why I'm reading in such a low-pitched, manly voice. I should be reading it in Michael Condrey's voice, which is pretty much the opposite of masculine. So for here on out, I'm going to read this in Michael Condrey's voice for authenticity, because that's what Call of War II is about, authenticity.
Additionally, a main design pillar, inclusivity, we had in this game was boots on the ground in World War II era, all-inclusive. That meant more than just not having boost jump and an arsenal of speed buffs. It also meant the return to an overall more strategic and slower pace of conflict.
This is where you understand that Sledgehammer Games doesn't have a fucking clue what they're doing.
It also meant a return to an overall more strategic and slower pace of conflict.
That is not what Call of Duty is, you morons. Continuing on.
The removal of boost thrust also gave us the predictable place for which threats could appear and a more consistent posing speed between players. The question of the rest became, do we want to crutch a perk that also makes the gameplay faster? Our answer was no.
We're not asking once again for a crutch perk, we're not asking for dexterity, we're not asking for any of that. Just increase the ADS sprint out time across the board. Another point I want to get to before I even forget, and the most important aspect of this is if SMGs are overpowered in this game and running around SMGs and you don't want to add crutch perks, then I ask you a question, why do you keep nerfing the assault rifles then if the SMGs are the ones that are overpowered and that's why you don't want to have a crutch perk? Hello? How does that make any sense? Sledgehammer Games, you are clueless. Michael Condrey, you're a moron.
Given that we decided to make the ADS time out of sprint the same as the normal ADS time and not offer a means to make it faster, we do have the quick draw attachment, which makes ADS speed faster across the board, and as you can imagine, it's super popular.
Quick draw doesn't work when you're running at all. Quick draw is a useless perk. The only time quick draw works is if you're not moving. So this is what's important. Just gonna stand around. This is me playing Call of Duty. This is how you play Call of Duty if you're not moving. You just stand there with your gun down. Oh, but I can lift up really fast. That makes no sense. Only people that don't fucking move play like this. They aim down sights. That's how you stand still. It's called camping, head glitching, playing like a bitch. That's what it's like. This is what we do. So making quick draw useless, because when you're running with quick draw and you go to use it, it has no effect whatsoever. Quick draw, not quick draw. When you're running and you try to sprint out of speed, or even just walking and you try to aim down sights quickly, it does no difference whatsoever. So quick draw is completely useless. Once again, more proof. Sledgehammer Games, Michael Condrey, monkey morons.
A dexterity perk plus quick draw attachment crutch combo just didn't work for our design ambitions in game feel for World War II.
What we're saying is that they don't know what they're doing, once again, and they want to make the game slow-paced, which Call of Duty is not about at all. Call of Duty, every single good Call of Duty, every single big YouTuber, every single YouTuber out there that is a pub stomper and their job depends upon uploading Call of Duty content has walked away from this game because you cannot have fun. Like Mark and Jay, for example, you cannot do well running and gunning this game. Black Ops 3, running and gunning, no problem. Black Ops 2, running and gunning, no problem. Black Ops 1, running and gunning, no problem. COD 4, Modern Warfare, reason why I didn't like it very much, reason why I did not have a good time playing Modern Warfare Call of Duty, because they didn't have this as well. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, also when you go back and play, that's why it's hard to play if you play the remaster even. There is no sprint, the sprint out speed is slow, and that's why that game was filled with campers, head glitchers, and made it boring for most people that actually played it. If you like playing that game, probably with Search and Destroy, Team Deathmatch was cancer.
We discussed the buff the ADS Sprintout times for Airborne, but we already have an SMG heavy meta, and we're not convinced that this best option for the game. I don't think that this 30 basic training is either. Perhaps a new movement division focus with other trade-offs built in would be a future option, but don't hold us to that.
So once again, SMG meta is popular. That means that SMGs reign supreme in this game. PPSH mostly, because again, balancing this game is horrible. So once again, we bring back the original question, why are you nerfing the SMGs? You nerfed the bar twice, you messed that up. You nerfed the FG, that made it useless. Now you're gonna try to buff that. Now also another point to point out, these guys don't know what they're doing. You buff the most powerful shotgun in the game, negating the other two shotguns, and then you're like, oh, you know what, that combat shotgun's a bit too powerful. I guess we're just gonna have to nerf that back. But you know, maybe we'll get around to buffing the other two shotguns, which are completely useless if you're not playing hardcore mode. So doing a great job, Sledgehammer Games. At this point, I also made a tweet I want to also bring up here. Epic Games makes Fortnite. They add new guns on a regular basis. They update, they patch, they balance the game. I'm just giving an example of a competent development team compared to a non-competent development team. Epic Games, Fortnite, balance guns, add new guns on a regular basis, add new health, add new fires, add new gameplay modes, add new DLC, update, actually give actual video update, live videos on Twitter and YouTube, not Reddit, which I don't know who the hell even uses Reddit except a bunch of degenerate 12-year-olds. This is ridiculous. Like, they're idiots. So Epic Games, you should be hired to run Call of Duty. Sledgehammer Games should be fired. That's the difference between a competent and an incompetent development team.
I'm sure for some people this will go down like a lead balloon.
Not for some people, pretty much everybody. And the fact that you're admitting that this is going to go down like a lead balloon shows that you know what you're doing is what you want to do and not what the actual community wants. If you gave what the community wants, is what the whole point of this Call of Duty and this whole franchise is you're making it for people like me and for you who are watching the video, the majority. Not for you and your artistic vision, Michael Condrey, that you're trying to, I don't know how you're, what are you doing? You just admit there, this will go down like a lead balloon. This is a game about entertainment, and you're just admitting that you're doing something that is going to be unpopular. So why are you doing that, you moron? Well, I know why you're doing that, because you're an idiot. You don't know what the hell you're doing, and I hope you get fired, because it doesn't matter anyways. You're already a millionaire. Who cares? Just walk away from the franchise. Do everybody a favor. Activision, if you're watching this, which I know you do because I'm your #1 Call of Duty fan, fire these guys. Hire someone like Epic Games. Hire a competent development team. These guys, 2 Call of Duties in a row, people like this, and also Infinity Ward, are destroying the franchise. Treyarch is probably the only team that knows what they're doing, and even they mess it up half the time.
Given everything we see across all players, regions, game modes, skill levels, etc., we're definitely listening here, but not acting on any Sprintout changes in the short term. Hope this update helps provide context, if nothing more.
Once again, admitting, hope this provides context, if nothing more. Exactly, it provides context, nothing more, except that we know that you don't know what the hell you're doing. And this is going down as the biggest mistake in Call of Duty history, next to, like I said, one-man army noob tube in Modern Warfare 2 or Tactical Insert. I can't think of a bigger mistake and a worse development team than Sledgehammer Games. And I also, like I said, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I also had said this a million zillion times from previous videos since the beta of COD World War II. This game would be dead before February, and it's freaking dead before January, because I knew, because I'm a super intelligent and enlightened human being. Praise 8 thoughts. The Sledgehammer Games is incompetent, and they don't know what they're doing, and they can't make a multiplayer Call of Duty game. And with all that being said, my friends, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And last but not least, you all stay black, Built a haunted cracker routine shape. You can build the moon base harp, the spring chemtrails, 9/11 is a job school with Tower 7. The Bohemian Grove worship Owls is flat. The moon landing is fake. Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron James sucks. White men bring you down. If you enjoyed the video, you're very welcome. But hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you actually want to be a winner at life.